Well, can you believe it? It's another Talking Technical show. And thank you for sending all the requests. I mean, without you guys, we'll not having the show. But with so many requests, let's see if we can work through them. And remember, we live in this fantasy world now that markets are running like you can't believe, and the world is in dire straits because of a virus. Let's call it a coronavirus, and maybe something out of the east that they're talking about swine flu, but it looks like all those flus and viruses are just acting as stimulants for the market. Well, let's kick off. Tesla is one of that, and Volley asked about Tesla. I mean, Volley, I will rush through a lot of charts tonight, and some of them will look like this, and look what happened. In March, Tesla was around $417, and can you believe it, from March till now, up all the way to 1,123. So that just tells you that Tesla has no end to it. Everybody buys it. The company doesn't make money. They produce not cars, but their chart tells you everybody loves the stock. So, Volley, big thing is, if you love the stock, the only thing I can say is you need to chase momentum. It's just nothing else. There's nothing on the charts that tells you that anything will turn around quickly. And remember, this is a weekly chart. And let's just draw in that line. Well, there's the support, Volley. If you look at this chart, beautiful lamp pole formation, no move to the backwards, and everybody will say only below this line you will get worried. So if you want to chase it at the moment, use this as your stop loss. It's exactly at 1,000. Let's make it 1,002. Use it $1,000, and if it carries on like 1121, we never know where it can go. Maybe 1,200. I mean, everybody just loves these markets, and they buy these markets, and I mean, nothing can go wrong. And first sign of weakness will be below 1,000, and by then it will probably turn this support into a resistance line, and only then we will get a warning on the chart. At the moment, going like a Boeing partner. And then let's have a look at Revlon. Revlon. Peter asked about Revlon. I think maybe he wants to buy his wife a share instead of a nice cosmetic product. But if you look at this chart now, you can now clearly see, Peter, that this is almost the opposite of Tesla. When Tesla is in just the flavor of the month or flavor of the year, nothing can go wrong. This stock is telling us that it's struggling. And again, weekly chart, look at all these lower highs. It looks like there's a little bit of a consolidation. I like that. But in this market, and remember the S&P 500, in actual fact, world markets for the last 3 months rallied in such a way that it is a record in history. Interesting. And with all the bad news of the corona and people dying and countries are struggling to pay debt and borrowing money like in South Africa, the markets are just happy. So, well, let's have a look here. That's why I'm going to take a little bit of a higher place here, give you a place where I think the chart can go up, Peter, and that will be at 1287. If it can get above 1287, it's now 994. I think we can see that the chart can maybe lift its head. And unfortunately, I will stick to it. I will say my stop loss will be 940. So if it takes off and it breaks above this line, we can maybe see it all the way to this line. I just want to show you here, Peter. It can maybe go, there you are. It can maybe go all the way to 1612. So if it starts to go, I think this chart can maybe surprise us all. Because at least with this company, we know that a lot of people did not buy anything and they only coming back into business now. So at least this chart maybe reflects a true scenario in the community. Let's have a look at Noble. Charles wants to know about Noble. And there you are, Noble. There you are, Noble Corporation, he said. Now, if we look at this chart, well, there you are. There's another one here that we can see is right at the bottom. Now, Charles, if we look at Noble, we can see this company was as high as $7, let's say $7.20 a few years back in 2019, and now it's right at the bottom. So the best to do here, again, I'm going to do exactly the same. You guys will see I'm using the same technique tonight. And this is quite an interesting thing. Somebody asked me the other day, he said to me, Frans, you trade the Aussie day in and day out. Do you sometimes change your strategy? And I said to him, yes. The market actually tells you sometimes to change your strategy or change your indicator or even change the settings on your indicator. And most guys know that I like the simple stochastic, and I work on that for many years. And yes, I do change sometimes the settings of that, especially if the market is either in a very bullish or bearish phase. I work it out and then I change it and then it works for me. So if you look at this Noble Charles, I will say you can buy above 31 American cents. Make use of the stop loss of 8 cents. And the big thing is, again, quite a big stop loss. And the reason why I'm doing that is if these markets are going to pull back, and I can assure you they are going to pull back, because there's just no way that the S&P can rally in this almost a trance until all these top companies comes into profit again, because then the Fed needs big pockets. Well, they've got deep and big pockets. We'll see for how long they can carry on. So there you are, and I think my targets to the top will be 76 American cents, 90 cents, and even 137 if it gets going. And some guys will also ask, why do we do nowadays some international shares? There's a lot of South Africans that starts to trade overseas, in overseas markets and in overseas companies. And that's why we decided to do that. And also remember, there's also some international guys that's immigrated from South Africa that's sitting there, and they trade also these companies. So let's have a look at Apple. Oh, Apple, I mean, can you look at Apple? I mean, Apple is just the company of the future. Let's just see where it is. There you are. And whoa, can you believe that? What a star performer. This is now a classic share that was as low as 223 in March. This is the corona, I can almost say, blip on the markets. It was at 223 and it's trading now at 367. Look at this beautiful lamp pole formation. I mean, if it extends to that and you take that extension, let's say from 172 to 1327, this company can go all the way, if you just make it easy, to 435 and even 460. So I look at Apple and I look at Apple for Jose. Jose, if you look at this chart, it's exactly the same as Tesla. If you want to chase the momentum, that's the only thing you can do. And you must use this as your stop loss. And remember, I always warn about a lamp pole formation. This is a classic one. It never lasts even there. You can see it rallied all the way. When it turned around, it gave 50% of that back at least. If this give it down to 50%, this can go easily down to $300. So yes, you can chase the momentum. Use 353.63 as your stop loss. And if you want the projection, I will say I will use this line. Let's go there. And then we can say it can go nicely up. And there you are. It can go. There's the target for you guys. It can maybe go as high as 381. And we reach the upper band of this resistance line. So that's maybe the target if you want to chase momentum. So if we look at Gilead, I mean, this is the company that every time that the market is just getting a little bit nervous, you will see that suddenly there is a wonder cure test that these companies did, and they will always tell you that it performs well and the tests are good, and then suddenly the market just rally on top of that. So, and on the other hand, if the bad news comes in and say the test doesn't work, everybody say, but don't worry, the Federal Reserve will buy us out. They will help us. Now, if we look at Gilead, we can see the stock is almost in a limbo phase now, but what do I see here? I see this little formation here. There you are. Let's have a look there. I can draw that line in there, and there you are. You are. I can see a left and a right shoulder and a head, That makes the classic head and shoulder formation. There's the left shoulder, there's the head. We've got the double right shoulder here, and only above 77.94. Let's make it 78. Only above 78. You can see that this head and shoulder formation will be wiped off the table. And if it plays out and it breaks down, and I'll give you the neckline now. There you are. There's the target there. And if we take that and we just extend it a little bit, if it breaks this neckline and this neckline sits at 72.70, it's now 76.40. If it breaks below 72.70, we can maybe reach for the target all the way down to there at $66.50. So, yes, Gilead looks good. They are the problem solvers of the coronavirus, maybe also for swine flu as well. So we'll see, but the chart makes me a little bit worried. Let's have a look at Biogen, also one of those top companies, all the wonderful solutions. Nothing can go wrong there. They are the experts, but this chart worries. Look at it. A little bit of a double top here. Double top worries me. It goes all the way, and it already came into play. I just want to show you guys. There's the place where it got into action. There's the double top line there. Is sitting at 276.19. And if it plays out to the downside, what I pick up here is that there's only a few charts left that's rallying, and that's almost the information technology charge. And if this double top plays out, it can take it all the way back to March lows, and that's it at 231.59. Well, that's the end of this part, and we'll chat a little bit later again.